Namaskaram. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to day 11 in the Dhanur Dhya Sadhana series, brought to you by the Krishnamacharya Yoga Mandiram, celebrating this sacred month of Margashirsha. Shri Krishna Vagisha Yatishwarabhyam Samprapta Chakrankana Bhashya Saram Shri Nutna Rangendra Yatau Samarpitasvam Shri Krishnamaryam Guruvaryamide Virodhe Kartike Mase Shatatara Krutodayam Yogacharyam Krishnamaryam Guruvaryamaham Bhaje Krishna Suri Daya Patram Jnana Vairagya Bhushanam Srimad Venkatanatharyam Vandeham Yogadeshikam Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Today is day 11 of the month of Margashirsha. Also, a very special auspicious day, Ekadashi. This is the Krishna Paksha Ekadashi in the month of Margashirsha, a day that is earmarked for every month. We have the two Ekadashis, the 11th day of the waxing and the waning fortnights are days that are earmarked for fasting, for a vrata. There are different kinds of fasts. It is believed that fasting on Ekadashi confers abundant blessings. We will explore more about this on the occasion of Vaikuntha Ekadashi coming up very shortly. In the next 15 days, we have the waxing phase Ekadashi, Vaikuntha Ekadashi. This is also known as Mokshada Ekadashi, a very, very special day indeed. And so we will discuss more about power of Ekadashi Tithi and the fasting on that occasion. Today is the Ekadashi of the waning phase as we move towards new moon coming up shortly. On Ekadashi, while one has to keep the vrata, it is also important to offer whatever it is that we can in worship to Sriman Narayana. We have already done a practice that while the external flowers are offered, they are only symbolic of offering the flower of our heart. And a heart that is purified, that is filled with ahimsa, satya, dharma, jnana, vairagya, and so on. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Patram, Pushpam, Phalam Toyam, Yome Bhaktya Prayachati, Tad Aham Bhaktyupahritam Ashnami Prayatatmanaha. Whatever it is that is offered to me, whether it is a leaf, whether it's a flower, whether it's a fruit, whatever is offered to me with bhakti, we've already discussed what true bhakti is. And so whatever is offered, when we are offering, it's an offering made from gratitude, with reverence, in celebration of the abundance that we have been blessed to receive. He says, Tat aham bhaktyupahritam. I take it. I just take it as an offering of bhakti and I consume it. That is partaken of by me with great delight. This is what Shri Krishna says. Now, what is the most significant among the offerings that we can make to Sriman Narayana is Tulasi, Vrinda, as she is known, the place where Krishna sports on the banks of Yamuna is known as Vrindavana. Perhaps was a large forest of Tulasi shrubs. The holy basil has many, many scientifically proven medical properties. It is known as an antibiotic, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial. Has great power, potency in healing a wide range of diseases. Many medical preparations are made out of the sacred holy basil. There are a number of varieties, but equally special is the use of Tulasi in puja, specifically for puja of Vishnu in any form. Tulasi becomes the most dear. In fact, in my talk yesterday when we were discussing it, for day 10, the Pasuram is Notru Chuergam Pugugendra Ammanai Matramum Tararo Basal Tiravadar Natra Turai Mudi Narayanan Nammal Potra Paraitarum புண்ணியனால் பண்டு ஒரு நாள் குற்றத்தின் வாழ்விழுந்த கும்பக்கரணனும் தோற்றும் உனக்கே பெருந்துயில்தான் தந்தானும் ஆற்ற அனந்தலுடையாய் அருங்கலமே தோற்றமாய் வந்து திருவேலூர் எம்பாவாய். This is what we spoke of yesterday. But the beginning of this, I had told you that you are the one, Natra Turai Mudi Narayanan. So it speaks specifically, the Pasuram 10 speaks about how in Vaikuntha, Mahavishnu is just waiting to embrace all of us, who surrender, who sublimate our ego to him in bhakti. How is this Narayanan described as the one who is adorned with the most fragrant tulasi garlands? This is a very beautiful rendition by the renowned artist Keshav, also a friend, long-term friend of the KYM. I acknowledge here this is his artwork, a remarkable artist. I acknowledge here that he is the owner of the copyright of this beautiful rendition of Pasuram 10, where he shows Bhagavan adorned with tulasi all over. He wears it on his head, showing the importance of tulasi in worship. It is believed, according to the Skanda Purana, that when we look at the origins of tulasi, when the ocean of milk was churned, the Kshira Sagara was churned by the Devas and Asuras for the Amrita, as Dhanvantri arose, Dhanvantri is also an Amshavatara of Mahavishnu. As Dhanvantri arose from that ocean holding the pot of Amrita, he was just delighted at the sight of that Amrita that had emerged, and filled with that joy, he shed a few drops of tears of joy that fell into that pot of Amrita. It is believed that it is out of those drops of Dhanvantri's tears that Tulasi was born. Along with Mahalakshmi, who emerged from the ocean, they were both Tulasi and Mahalakshmi were offered to Mahavishnu. There are a number of stories about the power of Tulasi, about the power of worshipping the Tulasi plant. It is convention in households across India to have a corner where the Tulasi is planted, worshipped as a living goddess. In fact, there are many traditions where Tulasi Vivaha is done. This happened just last month, where she is revered as Tulsamma in Maharashtra, in various parts of India, and her wedding is conducted, because there's again very beautiful story of how she is wedded to the Lord, and so she is known as Vrinda. And so the Tulasi Vivaha is a very beautiful celebration. She is, you could say that she is one of the most prime Upaprakriti Swarupas. Upaprakriti is that which is an allied Prakriti. She is a visible form of the Mula Prakriti of Jagadamba herself, most precious in any offering. In fact, even water, before it has to be offered or used in a puja, has to be sanctified by placing Tulasi in it. There is a story of how Krishna, all the wives of Krishna were attempting to prove who had the most love and devotion. And the story goes that Satyabhama had placed Krishna on the Tulabharam. He's on one side. All her jewels are placed, and the balance doesn't move. And all the other wives come together. They try to outdo each other by offering all their jewelry, and still the balance doesn't tilt. Finally, it's Rukmini who's considered Patta Mahishi. She is the most beloved of Krishna's Ashtabharya. And so when she comes, they remove all the jewels. She simply places one leaf of Tulasi, and the balance immediately tilts. Again, calling attention to the Gita verse, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. Whatever is offered, if it's just a humble leaf, that is accepted with so much delight. And so we see that wherever she is across India, you will see that Tulasi Devi is enthroned in one corner of the house, somehow revered. Lamps are lit, a chandana, that is sandalwood, kunkuma, turmeric, all of this is applied to her. And there are some very beautiful verses also, because they say that she represents Mula Prakriti herself, which is why she is wedded to Paramapurusha Krishna. There is a beautiful verse that says, Yadrishta Nikhilaga Sangha Shamani Sprishta Vapuhu Pavani Roganam Abhivandita Nirasani Siktantaka Trasini Pratyasakti Vidayini Bhagavataha Krishnasya Samropita Nyasta Tacharane Vimukti Phalada Tasyai Tulasyai Namaha. Just by looking at the tulasi plant, all our problems, all our papa are simply removed by touching her. The whole body is cleansed and purified. By praying to this tulasi, all our diseases are cured. By offering water or simply wetting the soil around the tulasi plant, one overcomes the fear of death. By planting or giving saplings of tulasi or transplanting the tulasi plant, it's one of the, it's recommended as a way of accessing Krishna Bhakti inside of us, so that we can realize the fruition of all our desires. And when you offer this tulasi at the feet of Shri Krishna, she brings in us that devotion. That act of offering the tulasi instills in us a deep sense of devotion. And so the stotra says, I pay my deepest obeisances to this Tulasi Devi. She is the one who rules, who is very, very significant in the worship of Mahavishnu in any form. And so today on Ekadashi, we will do this in two parts. The first part is a celebration of Tulasi. In fact, to be seated near a Tulasi plant is considered to be extremely good in revitalizing the Pancha Prana, in making oxygen available to us in a manner that it should be absorbed. Tulasi has tremendous medicinal and healing properties, and it is highly recommended that one keeps a Tulasi plant at home. So our visualization, if you have a Tulasi plant, I'd like you to try to be seated in proximity. If not, at least visualize yourself surrounded by a beautiful grove of Tulasi. We celebrate Tulasi as Mula Prakriti herself. And then we move on to offer this very Tulasi in worship to Mahavishnu as the second part of today's practice on the occasion of Margashirsha Krishna Paksha Ekadashi. Yanmule sarvatirthani yanmadhye sarvadevataha yadagre sarvavedascha tulasitvam namamyam. In her base, all the tirthas, all the sacred waters reside. In her middle, all the devatas reside. At the top, she is the epitome of all the Vedas. She represents the totality of creation. To that Tulasi, I offer my salutations. Namas Tulasi Kalyani, Namo Vishnu Priye Shubhe, Namo Moksha Prade Devi, Namas Sampat Pradayini. So, O Tulasi, you are the bringer of all auspiciousness. You are the one most dear to Mahavishnu. You are the one who can bestow on us moksha. To that Devi, she is the one who bestows all abundance, all prosperity. So these are some very beautiful verses addressed to Tulasi. For our practice today, I will be using the Tulasi Stotram. Along with, we will be doing it with pranayama, because what is most important in how we can access the benefit. One part of this is offering the Tulasi in worship, but my first part of the practice today is glorifying the Tulasi herself because of the myriad benefits that she brings to us, not just from the perspective of health, but our spiritual wellness as well, because she instills Bhagavad Bhakti in our hearts. So I'd like you to sit quietly, back straight, eyes closed, chin down. You could visualize, you could look at the screen in front of you, or you could visualize yourself seated, surrounded by a Tulasi Vana, Vrindavana. Fragrant, very, very beautiful smell, very powerful smell. And that fragrance surrounds you. I'd like you to visualize being seated in this presence. For those of you who are able to do so, I would like you to please, if you're going to be doing this practice a little later, because these practices are available for you to access, if you could keep a small container of water, we call it a panchapatram in Samskrita, copper, silver vessel filled with water. place a few tulsi leaves inside it, keep it in front of you. As we do this, it would be wonderful if you could do this and then do the practice. If not, simply visualize being seated in the tulsi grove. The grove surrounds you. You can feel the fragrance of this tulsi. For those of you who can, you have the tulsi placed in water in a small container in front of you. With your eyes closed, please breathe in and out. I will be chanting. Please time your breath to my chant. I will keep lengthening the breath and lengthen the chant. You don't have to chant. I just need you to keep breathing in and out to the length of my chant. And breathe in. Just as you breathe in, simply visualize the healing power, the transformative power of Tulasi simply flowing into you with every breath as you expand the breath. As you exhale, simply exhale in gratitude. The worship of Tulasi confers tremendous benefits. Here we do a Shwasa Puja through the breath. Take her in, hold her in you, hold that fragrance, hold that healing medical power, potency of the Tulasi that you're breathing, the smell of that Tulasi that you're breathing, hold it inside of you. Simply exhale, expressing gratitude. I will be chanting. Inhale. Namaha. Exhale. Namaha. Inhale. Namaha. Exhale. Namaha. Inhale. Namo Namaha. Exhale. Namo Namaha. Inhale. Namo Namaha. Exhale. Namo Namaha. Inhale. Tulasyai Namo Namaha. Exhale. Tulasyai Namo Namaha. Inhale. Tulasyai Namo Namaha. Exhale. Tulasyai Namo Namaha. Om Tulasyai Namo Namaha. Exhale. Om Tulasyai Namo Namaha. Inhale. Om Tulasyai Namo Namaha. Exhale. Om Tulasyai Namo Namaha. Just keep breathing in and out. Simply visualize. If you don't have the Tulasi accessible to you, just visualize the plants surrounding you as if you're breathing in the same. Those who can, who have access to a Tulasi plant at home, try to do this practice seated in front of the Tulasi. Now, I will be chanting the Tulasi Stotram written by Pundarika. The water container that you have, I request you to place a few Tulsi leaves in it. Just place the third finger, your ring finger inside, touch the water, cover it. I will be chanting. After every verse, I will stop. Please chant. Om Vishnu Priyayai Namaha. Vishnu Priyayai Namaha. The one who's most beloved of Vishnu is what you will chant invoking the power of Tulsi in that water. I will chant verse after verse. Where I stop, please chant Om Vishnu Priyaya Namaha. So eyes closed. Place your finger, the right ring finger, inside the water. Just cover the water container. It could be a silver, copper, bronze, steel, anything. Whatever is available, clean water that you can later drink. We are trying to energize this water with the mantra, bringing that mantra as an offering to Tulasi, who's present there within that water. जगद्धात्री नमस्तुभ्यं विष्णुश्च प्रियवल्लभे यतो ब्रह्मादयो देवा सृष्टिस्थित्यन्तकारिणः ॐ विष्णुप्रियायै नमः नमस्तुलसी कल्याणी नमो विष्णुप्रिये शुभे नमो मोक्षप्रदे देवी नमः सम्पत्प्रदायिके ॐ विष्णुप्रियायै नमः तुलसी पातु मां नित्यं सर्वापद्भ्योऽपि सर्वदा कीर्तिता वापि स्मृता वापि पवित्रयति मानवम् ॐ विष्णुप्रियायै नमः नमामि शिरसा देवीं तुलसीं विलसत्तनुं यां दृष्ट्वा पापिनो मर्त्याः मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषात् ॐ विष्णुप्रियायै नमः तुलस्या रक्षितं सर्वं जगदेतच्चराचरं या विनर्हन्ति पापानि दृष्ट्वा वा पापिभिर्नरैः ॐ विष्णुप्रियायै नमः नमस्तुलस्यतितरां यस्यै बद्धाञ्जलिं कलौ कलयन्ति सुखं सर्वं स्त्रियो वैश्यास्तथा परे ॐ विष्णुप्रियायै नमः तुलस्या नापरं किञ्चित् दैवतं जगतीतले यथा पवित्रो लोको विष्णुः सङ्गेन वैष्णवः ॐ विष्णुप्रियायै नमः तुलस्याः पल्लवं विष्णो शिरस्यारोपितं कलौ आरोपयति सर्वाणि श्रेयांसि वरमस्तके ॐ विष्णुप्रियायै नमः तुलस्यां सकलदेवा वसन्ति सततं यतः अतस्तामर्चयेल्लोके सर्वान् देवान् समर्चयन् ॐ विष्णुप्रियायै नमः नमस्तुलसी सर्वज्ञे पुरुषोत्तमवल्लभे पाहि मां सर्वपापेभ्यः सर्वसम्पत्प्रदायिके ॐ विष्णुप्रियायै नमः इति स्तोत्रं पुरा गीतं पुण्डरीकेन धीमता विष्णुमर्चयता नित्यं शोभनैस्तुलसीदलैः ॐ विष्णुप्रियायै नमः तुलसी श्रीर्महालक्ष्मीर्विद्या विद्या यशस्विनी धर्म्या धर्मानना देवी देवदेवा मनप्रिया ॐ विष्णुप्रियायै नमः लक्ष्मी प्रियसखी देवी द्यौर्भूमिरचलाचला षोडशैतानि नामानि तुलस्या कीर्तयन्नरः ॐ विष्णुप्रियायै नमः लभते सुतरां भक्तिमन्ते विष्णुपदं लभेत् तुलसी भूर्महालक्ष्मी पद्मिनी श्रीहरिप्रिया ॐ विष्णुप्रियायै नमः। तुलसी श्री सखी शुभे पापहारिणि पुण्यदे नमस्ते नारदनुते नारायण मनप्रिये ॐ विष्णुप्रियायै नमः। You see here this very beautiful form of Mahavishnu in front of you, where he simply embraces all his bhaktas. And you see the adornment of Tulasi. There's nothing that's more precious to Mahavishnu than Tulasi. And so on this Ekadashi day, I'd like you to visualize offering Tulasi. This Tulasi that you have now touched, you can remove your finger, keep this aside. Later, after the end of this practice, you could drink this water. It has been potentized with the power of your own chanting. And the Tulasi itself is a great purifier. Now, please visualize that you have your hands full of Tulasi. Hold it close to your heart. In your mind, visualize form of Mahavishnu. Ekadashi celebrates Mahavishnu. You can visualize him as Balaji, Venkateshwara, as Krishna, as Rama, as Narayana, as Kshira Sagar Shayana, Ananta Shayana, as Hayagriva, as Lakshmi Narasimha, as Sudarshana, in any form that you wish. But hold the form, the Murti of Mahavishnu, Tulasi in your hand. In your mind, visualize any form of Mahavishnu. Try to do a visual from the head to the toe or from the toe to the head, as you wish, simply holding the Tulasi as you visualize this form. Now, in whichever form you're visualizing, hold your visual on the feet of Narayana in any form. In your hands, visualize that you're holding a bunch of tulasi leaves. I will be doing a short selection of the namas of Vishnu, just 27. I'd like you to chant aloud, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. After which I will be chanting. I will chant throughout. When I chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, chant along with me. Then I will chant one of the namas. Through all this, simply hold in your mind the visual of Bhagavan's feet. Hold the tulasi in your hands. Visualize that you're holding the tulasi in your hands. This is a manasika samarpanam. It's not the real tulasi. It's just in your mind you're making this offering. Just simply pour your intention, your bhakti into that. Hold it. As I chant, you chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Once we do the 27 Namavalis, then I will tell you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vishnave Namaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhruvaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Achyutaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hrishikeshaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Purushottamaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Lakshmi Pataye Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Govindaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Shankhachakradaraya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Jagannathaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Paramatmane Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Yogeshwaraya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Adidevaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Adimulaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Trivikramaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janardanaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Padmanabhaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Keshavaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Haraye Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dharma Samsthapakaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dushta Nigrahakarine Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Sishtarakshakaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Kshetrapalakaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Sarvatomukhaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Satyadharmaparayanaaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Mahayajvane Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanaaya Namaha. Just hold this bunch of tulasi leaves in your hands. Invoke the power of tulasi to instill bhakti in your heart. We've already discussed what the true spirit of bhakti is. Let this tulasi transform us to being bhaktas, worthy of sublimating ourselves to the Supreme Narayana. Just hold this in your mind. I will be chanting just one passage from the Vishnu Suktam. Please visualize showering Narayana with this tulasi. You could offer the handful of tulasi either at the feet or shower them from the head down, as if you're just offering tulasi at the head or at the feet, as you wish. But do it in your mind. Om Vishnornukam Viryani Pravochaya Parthivani Vimame Prajagumsiyo Askabhaya Ruttaragum Sadhastham Vichakramanastrethorugāyo Vishno Raratamasi Vishno Prishtamasi Vishno Shnaptre Stho Vishno Syurasi Vishno Dhruvamasi Vaishnavamasi Vishnave Tvam. Om Narayanaya Vidmahe Vasudevaya Dhimahi Tanno Vishnu Prachodayat. Om Narayanaya Vidmahe Vasudevaya Dhimahi Tanno Vishnu Prachodayat. Om Narayanaya Vidmahe Vasudevaya Dhimahi Tanno Vishnu Prachodayat. Having made your mental offering of Tulasi, just sit in silence for just a minute. Take deep breaths, focusing on your breath. Just connecting to that form, expressing gratitude. Vishnoho Pada Sevanam is one of the Navavida Bhakti, simply to serve by making offerings at the feet. Why the feet? Because it is when you go down to the feet, it is a way of effacing our own ego, of sublimating this constant I that rises up through the offerings that we make. But even these offerings are symbolic for how we need to transform ourselves. Tulasi stands as an example of what the highest purity, piety is. She's purest, so much so that Tulasi once used can be reused in puja, whereas other flowers once used cannot be reused. That is the power, that is the purity of Tulasi. May that Tulasi Devi confer all this on us so that we become worthy of being Bhaktas and Bhagavatas ourselves. This was Krishnamacharya's message to again and again. He says, even in the Yoganjali Saram, he says, Grinu Gopalam Smaraturagasyam Bhaja Guru Varyam Mandamate. He says, you are, oh, dull-minded one. Celebrate that divine, celebrate your teachers, celebrate the greatness of our teachings. For nothing else is going to help us survive this Kali Yuga. And so, simply visualize all the abundance that has been received, just express gratitude in silence. यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं तु यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देवा नारायण नमोऽस्तु ते श्रीमते नारायणाय नमो नमः कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu. As I had mentioned, if you have placed tulasi in water, do remember you can drink it. It's very, very potentized, powerful, can be extremely beneficial medically, even if we are able to have just a few sips of water. They say that copper water stored in a copper vessel overnight with a few leaves of tulsi to be consumed on an empty stomach in the morning is one of very, very powerful. You could say it protects, gives great immunity, protects from several diseases, improves respiratory power, is also a cleanser. So just want to leave you with the thought of the power of Tulasi. And as we offer Tulasi to Bhagavan Vishnu on this occasion of Ekadashi. Thank you so much for joining me. This is day 11. We meet again tomorrow, Dwadashi. Thank you. Namaskar.